Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man. We are playing NeoBrand or Allosaurus Evolution, and this time we are running up against Whir prison. So let's see how this one goes. This is our opening hand. It's not too bad, I suppose. We just need to find Allosaurus rider, or some way of finding it, like a Summoner's Pact. And then we've got the ways to evolve it. So yeah, I think we've got two Serum Visions. We've got the Neoform and Eldritch Evolution. So yeah, I mean, Simian Spirit Guide and Lightning Storm are not doing a lot in this hand, but otherwise this looks fine. So we find the Summoner's Pact. Unfortunately, we don't find the second land, which is a bit painful, but I think we're just going to keep that Summoner's Pact on top and then use this second Serum Visions to push to the next land. It might be a risky play, but okay. So our opponent turn 1 Grafdigger's Cages and then plays Mishra's Bauble. Grafdigger's Cage turns off the combo because you can't use Eldritch Evolution or Neoform. And in this version of the deck, I got rid of Dissenter's Deliverance from my main deck, which seems like a regrettable move now. Even if I didn't, I think we'd be in pretty bad shape. We can play the... I've forgotten the name of the elf, the Restoration... Is it Restoration? Oh, I've forgotten the name of it. The 3-mana green elf that destroys artifacts. Which I do have in my sideboard, but the name is completely escaping me right now. Yeah, that could be in the main deck, I guess. But yeah, the likelihood of seeing opponent playing a turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage in the main deck is not hugely likely. So yeah, we're basically dead here. I mean, I'm kind of playing it out for a little while to see what's going on with their deck. They have a Thopter Foundry, Chromatic Star, Mishra's Bauble, Needle Aims and Lightning Storm, and I just give up from there basically. I can't really see a way of coming back. We don't have a way to deal with these artifacts main deck, as I say, and our opponent has read what our deck is and also had a turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage, so we can't really do anything about that. Okay, coming back to sideboarding, we are looking at cards for Whir Prison. They do sometimes run Thoughtseize, which is potentially a reason to bring in Leyline of Sanctity, but I don't think it's common enough to be worth it, I don't think. So the cards I really want to look at are obviously the Artifact Hate cards, Nature's Claim, Reclamation Sage, which is the card name that I couldn't remember a few minutes ago. So yeah, Reclamation Sage and Nature's Claim are two cards that I think I want to bring in. I quite bringing Lab Maniac as the alternative win condition, given that we know that they're willing to needle a Lightning Storm. So basically Lightning Storm, the discarding a land, a part of it is an activated ability, so they can needle that and prevent us from ever using it, which is bad. I think it's actually worse if they needle Grizzlebrand, for the most part. So it's kind of an interesting play that's exactly what they went straight for the Lightning Storm. But yeah, I think bringing Lab Maniac makes sense. So I'm going to bring in Echoing Truth, Lab Maniac, Reclamation Stage, and Nature's Claim. Take out probably Cantor, Revival, Sleight of Hand, then maybe either a Chancellor or a Manamorphose. I'm not quite sure which one I did take out, but probably one of those two for those cards to come in. Okay, so here we are with game 2. This is our opening hand. We've got double Eldritch Evolution, Nourishing Shoal, Worm, Grizzlebrand. Some matches this might have been a possible keep, I suppose, in that we could just gain 15 life and that might be enough to buy us the time we need to find the cards we need, but I think otherwise this is a mulligan. As I say, having Grizzlebrand in hand is never good because you might accidentally draw the second one, which basically is game over. And I mean, the worm doesn't really do a lot on its own, so I mean, this hand, and we've got no ways to draw any deeper, so I don't really like this hand. It's more like it. We've got the combo, we have Manamorphose. I mean, again, Grizzle-branded hand, but I think we can deal with that. So opponent mulls to 4. So obviously fairly aggressively mulliganing to some sort of hate card. We find a Serum Visions on top, which I quite like. But just going to play a land and pass the turn here. Probably plays Bauble and Needle, naming Lightning Storm. I'm gonna Serum Visions, drawing into a Nourishing Soul. Sorry, I skipped past the cards that we got to keep on top, but I think that if they weren't land cards, we definitely bombed them. Bauble, Mox Opal. Is Bauble target opponents or players? A target player, yeah. So you can't turn that off with Leyline of Sanctity, that would have been nice. Someone plays out their hand, which isn't terribly exciting and doesn't do a great deal. We get a Botanical Sanctum. So we can actually combo off here, which is nice. So we can exile Nourishing Shoal and Manamorphose to cast the Rider. And then Neoform that into Grizzlebrand. And we'll see if our opponent has any answers to that. Don't think there's any reason to draw cards right now. And we'll just see if our opponent can find anything. Crux Expedition map to find Inventor's Fair. And plays Welding Jar, which is also fine. Damping Sphere is kind of annoying. In that it can potentially make things a little bit too expensive for us. We get to draw 7 here. Thought we might as well do that end of turn. Give us some options on our own turn. Find a Reclamation Sage here, which is nice. Find a Manamorphose. So let's leave with Serum Visions. I'm not entirely sure what to do here, what the best play is. I still want to attack for 8. But beyond that, I don't really know. We don't really need to combo off. So I kind of think we're best off just passing the turn, basically, for the most part. We could Reclamation Stage the Damping Sphere, but I think there's potentially worse cards to come from our opponent. Or more targeted cards from our opponent, so I feel like holding that back is good for me. Opponent finds Liliana, which isn't something we were particularly prepared for, but turns out that's what's coming. I suppose that does make that playing Reclamation Sage would have been a much better play in this scenario, because then we would not be losing Grizzlebrand here. And we'd also not have a Damping Sphere on the board, so in hindsight, we should have done it. So opponent's going to make a sack Grizzlebrand, obviously, so we're just going to draw as many cards as we can, I guess, for the most part. So draw 14, see where that takes us. And we might as well gain 15 life, I suppose, while we're at it. Draw some more cards. Gain 15 again. And we can draw down to the last 6 cards in our hand. Obviously we can't play Lab Maniac at instant speed, but we can cast it generally. But we are then a few cards off that being impactful. or effective. Obviously we can't Lightning Storm kill our opponent because of the needle. And then Damping Sphere also prevents a few things as well. And then playing Lab Maniac and then casting an Allosaurus Rider by exiling a couple of cards. I think that was bad in hindsight. I mean, it does do something, but I think in hindsight, the Damping Sphere was kind of getting in our way, so we should have either Reclamation Saged it or Echoing Truth to get rid of it. And then we could have combo killed. Well, then we would just be in a better position generally. We could play a lot more cards. Or alternatively, we could have got rid of Needle, I guess, and then would we have had enough for our opponent to kill our opponent? Oh, that's it. We so we didn't actually draw Lightning Storm in all these cards, so we drew a lot of cards, but unfortunately, Lightning Storm is one of the bottom 6 cards. Unfortunately, we're not in the position to kill our opponent with Lightning Storm, so we're going for the kill with Lab Maniac. But yeah, I think we probably would have been better off dealing with this Damping Sphere, and then being able to cast a few more cards and get a little bit further on. We could have cast these Serum Visions, etc., and maybe some Manamorphoses, and dug ourselves that a little bit deeper, so we win a little bit quicker with Lab Maniac. But this is how we end up playing it. We pitch a bunch of cards, keeping our draw spells as much as possible. But I think we end up pitching a few of those, which probably was a mistake. And obviously keeping our hate cards as far as possible. Opponent ticks up Liliana and plays a Thopter Foundry. So I attack here, which is kind of dumb, but fortunately we do have an out to our opponent just blocking our Lab Maniac. So yeah, I kind of a tendency to almost throw away this game. So Echoing Truth gets rid of the tokens, so our Lab Maniac survives, and we won't be doing that again. And we also get to hit for 5 with the Rider. Going to cast Serum Visions, costs 2 mana, that finds our Lightning Storm. Found Nature's Claim as well, which is going to put on top, so we've got basically all our artifact answers here. Obviously, if our opponent doesn't really do anything, then we just draw our final card and win the game with Lab Maniac, but there is a risk that they're going to be able to find something here. So we're going to attack for 6 here, opponent's going to make some tokens and block. I'm going to play Reclamation Stage. Actually, they don't block, they just take 6, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to play Reclamation Stage, get rid of the Thopter Foundry, so we turn off the combo. They gain 1 from Inventor's Fair. I attack for 7 here. And given they're on 7 life, they are forced to block. We could have attacked with the Reclamation Stage as well here, I guess. Although that just ends us with us losing the Reclamation Stage, I guess. Also, we played our land last turn, which is also something we shouldn't have done. So yeah, there's a bit of a tendency to try and throw away this game. There was quite a lot of punts. Yeah, we shouldn't have played our land. We should have kept it for this Lightning Storm, because we can Lightning Storm our opponent for not a huge amount, but obviously that's an extra 2 points of damage, and that would have been enough to kill our opponent with another land. I'm fairly sure we know that our last card is a Yavimaya Coast, I think, at this point. So everyone cracks Inventor's Fair, finds Pyrite Spellbomb, which can kill our Lab Maniac, and there isn't actually anything I can do about that. It's a pretty bad position to be in. 1 card left in the library, and our Lab Maniac is dead. Fortunately, thanks to killing the Thopter Foundry, we can actually attack here with both our guys, get that extra 2 points of damage in, put our opponent down to 5, and then Lightning Storm for the final points of damage necessary, and we just very, very, very narrowly win this game. I think we could have won it a lot easier. had we paid more attention and played cards in the right order, and also if Lightning Storm hadn't ended up being one of the bottom 6 cards in our deck when we started drawing cards with Grizzlebrand. So yeah, a lot of mistakes were made, but hopefully we can learn from those, which is kind of the point, I guess. And we did manage to pick up the win, so that's certainly something. Did manage to find the right line that allowed us to win the game. So very, very tight one, and let's see how we fare in Game 3. Okay, so this is our opener for Game 3. It's awful, and there's not really much else to say about it. So we will be mulliganing this. This is better. We've got the Summoners Pact into Neo form. We don't really have the green cards to go with it to get the Allosaurus Rider out early, but I think I prefer this to going to 5. Metamorphosis on top as well, which is nice. One plays Needle. This time they named Grizzlebrand, which I think is just the right thing to do. I mean, obviously our opponent is learning as well along the way. Yeah, you can stop the Lightning Storm, but I mean, obviously A, we've got an alternate win condition, and B, the fact is if we don't draw loads of cards, then Lightning Storm doesn't really do anything anyway. So Grizzlebrand is definitely the card you want to name with a Needle against us. That's Search for Escanter. I always call this Pithing Needle, but I think it's Pithing Needle, isn't it? Pithing Needle makes more sense, like pithing. Like pith of an orange, I guess. But anyway. So, we draw Eldritch Evolution, which doesn't really do anything. Yeah, we're kind of in a bind here. We need to find a card, one of our very few hand artifact destruction spells to get rid of the Needle on the Grizzlebrand. Because we can combo, but it will just die to Summoner's Pact at the beginning of the turn. I suppose we could have tried to combo in response to the Summoner's Pact, which I guess is just better than doing nothing. But no, because we can't even activate Grizzlebrand. I think that's the issue. If you named Lightning Storm, we would have been fine, because we could then just draw the cards in response to the Summoner's Pact, if necessary. That's the way we needed to play it. But yeah, we can't draw the cards, so we can't go and find the artifact destruction. We have to actually draw it, which is a problem. Our opponent plays Liliana, which adds to our woes, because even if we find like Allosaurus Rider and then make a Grizzlebrand, now we're in a position where our opponent can edict it, so it needs to survive more than a turn. Slash it won't survive more than a turn. So Serum Visions finds us nothing particularly useful. I mean, I guess we're probably going to keep the Serum Visions. Sorry, I don't know when the screen did that, just to see if we can dig that much deeper, but... Oh. Okay, sorry about that, my screen kind of crashed, and hopefully this video makes it okay, but yeah, things went a bit strange there, and then Magic Online just crashed, so we'll see how we get on. So yeah, where were we? Our opponent played Liliana, so we're in a huge bind. We can't really do a whole lot. We put Serum Visions on top, I imagine, just to draw an extra card, see if we can dig anywhere near an answer. And the Needle comes down for Grizzlebrand, so we're going to need to find Echoing Truth if we need to get rid of that. But things are not looking great for us. We find the Rider, but as I say, we need the Answers to Hate cards at the moment, and they're not coming through. So, gonna cast some Manamorphose here, just to dig a bit deeper and see if we can get anywhere close to what we need. find gemstone mines. So I'm going to run out Simian Spirit Guide and Allosaurus Rider. But the Ensnaring Bridge actually prevents them from attacking, so we can't do anything about this Liliana. Inventor's Fairs for Grafdigger's Cage, just to make things even less likely for us to be able to win. Grafdigger's Cage, and it's followed by a second Ensnaring Bridge. So yeah, we decided to pack it in there. Liliana's got to 7, so our opponent can ultimate next turn, and we can't do anything about that. And there's just too many hate cards here at this point, so yeah, unfortunately we fall to Whir Prison, which seems like a rough matchup, just generally, unless we're running more more extensive artifact disruption and destruction. But yeah, I mean, certainly getting caught by the turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage in game 1 was pretty bad for us, and maybe that game would have gone better. And we did bring 1 back, so it's certainly possible. But yeah, kind of an interesting matchup, and they're kind of well set up to stop everything that we're doing. So yeah, seems like a tough one for the NeoBrand deck.